This is our first time caller. I got a
Hey,
question.
Paul. Hey,
I
Paul.
was gonna let
You know that
Hey,
tree?
Paul.
I may have planted something out there in Auburn.
Hey, Paul. Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
Roll damn tide, not roll tide.
Roll Tide.
We got that on camera.
Okay.
Okay.
And we're rolling.
Oh,
right.
God, thanks a lot.
Okay. Well, we have the smile on camera. Oh, first, give your name and title.
Sure.
And play. And look, name, title, location.
John Albert, Jewett Orthopedics, Orlando, Florida. You may want to say Central Florida.
It sounded like you just did another thing. It's Bright Guard.
I told you, for some reason, I go into mode or I talk about rev cycle. Anything else I talk to?
From the U.
From the U. Okay. So, how has White Plume assisted you in your revenue cycle improvement?
Well, it's really assisted us in 4 ways for our improvement. One, it's helped us tackle overall our capturing our charge entry in a timely fashion. We're down about usually 24-hour turnaround time. Secondly, it's also tacked into our AR days overall. We've gone from upper 30s to low 30s. We're even now cracking below 30s. Shit, what was the third one?
Oh, you were the integration was going to be.
That's going to be separate now.
Separate.
Okay.
I'm just gonna move this. You're just getting a little bit of scratching on your coat there.
Am I talking too fast?
Nope.
Okay.
The left side of his face, there's a substantial light difference. If you want to look at it.
On left side.
When you- Yeah. See, there's a shadow. It'll show on his eye. Yeah, there you go.
Good?
Yeah.
Now he's looking good.
Now we're looking good.
Good.
Ready?
Okay, still rolling.
Rolling. How has White Plume assisted you in revenue cycle improvement?
We already covered the first 2, right?
Right, but I'm just
Pardon my
repeating it.
redo,
Yeah.
just 'cause I have a
Redo
little
it.
scratch.
And
Gotcha,
then
okay.
Remember to put that it's assisted us in revenue cycle improvement.
Okay. Well, it's really helped us threefold. One, it's overall just our old charge capture rate. We're down to less than 24-hour
Yeah,
turnaround.
when we're- Just say the assist in revenue cycle improvement.
Oh,
As
gotcha,
the
gotcha.
intro.
Okay.
Yeah, White Plume has assisted us.
Repeat it
in
one more
revenue
time.
cycle- White Plume has assisted us in revenue cycle improvement is the first part.
Okay. So it's assisted us threefold. Shit, man, I don't listen very well. It's assisted us in the revenue cycle process in 3 ways. 1, charge capture, 24-hour turnaround time as a benchmark. 2, getting our AR days down to low 30s, if not breaking the 30 threshold. And thirdly, our denial percentage. Not our denial rate, but our denial percentage based off our various codes.
How has White Plume helped you with improving your financial goals?
It's basically helped us do a 2-fold turnaround.
What were your goals, and how have what has White Plume's part been in that?
Okay. Ultimately, the goal, obviously, again, was getting in our gross charges in a timely manner. Our AR days under control are really in a great benchmark of 30 days, which ultimately affects cash coming in, but overall our net collection percentage.
John, what was the goal on the 2.5 to 3 million?
Yeah, I'm not going to mention that,
Okay.
though.
Okay.
Yeah.
On your throughput has improved by 70%. You've been able to reallocate a lot of those, time and resources and work other critical items. So, if you could talk about how White Plume has helped you improve 70% and what you've been able to do with those resources.
Sure. So the improvement really of our charge capture through productivity, if you will, from the coding standpoint, has helped us reallocate our resources. So there are so many parts of the revenue cycle that makes up a patient account balance through close. Obviously, charge throughput and coding is one of them. But there's things like unassigned pay, just making sure we've got real-time balances, in addition to working the denials or putting in rules in the White Plume that make that cycle go quicker and really help overall the impact balance in the bottom line, or when you kiss the end result that we have of really getting in the extra cash in the door.
What would happen in the productivity if you didn't have White Plume?
We'd have to hire more people.
If you can, to achieve the results that you've seen, could you comment on the experience, the quality, the level of people, how they've continually been able to help you?
Sure. That really starts at the highest level. So we have an annual executive session, whether we come to here in Birmingham or they come to us in Orlando. And then most importantly, there is quarterly analytics reviews. And there's a variety of support that probably happens on a weekly basis with our coding manager and team with the proper individuals at White Plume.
What about the quality of the people?
Outstanding. So we look at very few service vendors as partners, and White Plume is one of them. And so we define a partner is not just providing a product or a service, but the support, the integration, and overall just the ability to see past their product and make it work for our revenue cycle and our EMR platform.
Would you describe the interaction of White Plume as being continuous, this desire to help you continuously improve?
By far none, they are the best partner we work with.
To help us continuously improve?
Yes.
Can
To
you-
help
can
us
you go-
continuously improve, sorry. By far, they are a top partner of Jewett and our ability to continuously improve.
When you guys do those quarterly analytics, or we do those quarterly analytics meetings, with Steve and Melissa, can you talk about some of the things that we find in those meetings or what we're trying to get out of those meetings?
Sure. So ultimately, obviously, a byproduct of that really is a productivity of how we're going about our business and allocating our resources. But generally, there are so many more trends that we find. One that could just be so further worked on. Other denial trends we are getting now through the payers. Or more importantly, also just learnings in the development of our coding manager and her team as well. And those are really things that are unquantifiable. So software, technology, service partners are key, but still being able to develop your own team and they have a way to learn as well, very crucial to our continual improvement.
So you also talk about how you mentioned integration and how White Plume helps you with that, or has delivered on its, where a lot of people don't deliver on their integration process. They've made the integration easy and seamless and words like that. So could you comment on White Plume?
So if you are a client of White Plume or a prospective client, you need to ask yourself what integration means, okay? Define that. If that means an interface, if that means the ability to work with another system and collaborate, all those kind of things, White Plume will do. 99% of the vendors out there will not do that, and they will tell you that, bottom line. And then you're stuck with a product that's all working by itself, and now there's manual labor, which increases your workflow, decreases your workflow and throughput, bottom line.
You actually said, asked a question of yourself a few minutes ago, but sort of why White Plume exists. Why does White Plume exist? If you could comment on, what White Plume, from your perspective,
Sure.
If you were going to describe why White Plume exists and why its services are important to you.
So the billing world with commercial payers is organized chaos, and it only gets more complex exponentially almost every day. So if you do not have technology with that, technology that can interface, but it's also user specific to clinicians, not computer coders, you need White Plume.
On that comment that it was, EMR, I think you said EMR systems are designed by software engineers.
Shit, you're gonna get me in trouble with like all these Allscripts companies, man.
But how White Plume has always been focused on the results and the process and that constant interaction of even us learning from you.
Right.
That constant learning environment versus software engineers sitting in a cube somewhere. This, the hands-on. Could you comment on that?
So, no, I won't comment just on that. I'm going to comment on the character of the company. So from Don to Matt, that is a part of their culture of White Plume. All those ability to customize towards really their customers. So often you hear the agency approach. The agency knows they are selling a service to a customer, and they have to make that work for the customer. The moment you hear a barrier about something with a legal fee or something with an interface fee, they can't do, or we don't do that. We're a publicly traded company, we can't do that. All those things are part of the culture of how you treat a patient, or in this case, a customer, and that's part of White Plume.
You have these regular meetings and you use, White Plume puts a lot of energy and effort into both, not just providing reports, but they review the analytics themselves. So analytics really as a service.
Right.
So this whole process of, a lot of people talk about analytics, but White Plume is actually doing, and so if you can comment about that general area.
Sure. So I'm going to go back first to a teaching culture. So first and foremost, what most firms or groups like Jewett Orthopedics will learn is your analytics probably you're a year behind. In other words, it takes a good year to really get into just the overall technology of White Plume period, developing your rules-based system, understanding your charge throughput workflows, how to reconcile those on a daily basis back to your PM system and everything else. And then really understanding, okay, where do I have some coders that aren't up to speed on things? We're just tapping into our analytics, not to a fault of White Plume, because of Jewett just catching up on things and really understanding the competency of our coding team. So 2020, which would be going into our year 2 of analytics, is going to be an exciting time. We are just scratching the surface with that piece of it.
Yeah, that's a great question, great comment. What do you think about, would it be fair to say that like the White Plume team, Kenny, Stewart, would it be fair to say that they are pushing some of your coding team, trying to make them faster? Can you talk a little
So
bit about
for
that?
all you CEOs out there, you're being asked to do more with less. That's analytics. You have to figure out through due diligence where I can do that and not compromise the value, the mission, and the business. That's where analytics, and that's where this is going to. In fact, I'll be pushing White Plume to take it further so we can have analytics to go towards bundling. Bundling is going to be everything to thrive in an independent environment.
Anything else? From you?
Not from me.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought you were
We
asking
covered,
me.
no, we covered all that. We've got a
Go
comment on
Notre
each of the
Dame.
things. Go.
John, was there any parts of those that you wanted to kind of repeat or
Um,
repolish? You feel good about it?
Let's see here. I mean, I'll see the cuts, but you
Yeah.
have to look at it. Let me think here. We talked a lot. I think we hit interface pretty good, didn't we?
You did a good job.
Well, yeah, were there any, Noel or Jason, were there any parts that we did a good job on, but we need to like go back and rephrase?
So, well, Matt, let's talk about the implementation.
Okay,
Let's talk about that a little bit. So let's go over, we had a brainstorming session. We had 5 companies in town where we mapped through who's responsible for what as far as the part of the patient cycle or throughput. That was the first engagement session where we saw White Plume surpass Allscripts. Centricity, that's Clearwave did pretty good too though, but those 2 companies really surpassed where they dug into our workflows. So we should talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
So basically is, let's sell the implementation of how they will come in, look at your current state, and saying, here's where you need to go on a track to future state. And frankly, that ability to get to the future state is where analytics takes you. First half is just getting people to switch over, and then this is the part we're on right now. Some could do it in 2 months, it took us about a year,
yeah. So when you look at where we are.
which is
So
how
we're-
we got down to 24 hours
Yeah,
though.
exactly. So if you look at where you are and where you want to be,
Right.
and how that's a combination of people, process, technology,
Yeah.
do you want to talk a little bit about how does White Plume help your people kind of make that process
Jump in.
and technology piece
Right.
work?
So for anybody screening the White Plume product, ask yourselves, what vendor will come in and look at your current state? Not sell you a product, not sell you a new workflow, but look what your current workflow is and say, here's how we're going to have to get you here, in addition to buying our product and our services.
What about how does White Plume do a good job of delivering on what we say we're going to deliver on?
I'm not going to commit to that, man. Come on now. Let me figure out a way to say that one.
Okay.
That can be said a lot of ways, man. I'm trying to think of the most impactful way.
You could talk about trust, you could talk about reliability, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. I want that to be what your experience is.
I like the reliability track. That's pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good. Yeah, think of one for that. I'm not ad-libbing too good on that one right now.
That's the beauty of editing.
Yeah, it is. What is something that really stands out for you guys compared to other? Can I give yourself one out, Matt, and just do that?
Yeah, just call him.
Speed dial. No. You stumped me good, man.
Well, I have another one if you want to.
Fire away. Good. And we'll come back to that one.
We didn't put the word help you with your goals on tape, so White Plume helps me with my, they're involved with your goals. That's,
Sure.
That's actually a common theme of other people that we've talked to is
Right.
that it's not really a normal vendor relationship. They're literally involved with your goals. So that involvement and commitment to helping you improve with your goals. So you have a turnaround goal, you have whatever the goals are. White Plume is a little bit different, and part of it's because of the experience of the people, but that is also where we want to head with every client, not
Right.
just half of the clients.
So, I think what I'll say to that is that those end results are byproducts. And so I'm going to go back to having a reliable service partner that goes through all the things we talked about, understanding our current state workflows before our implementation, understanding our challenges with just getting people to use the system and make it friendly for them, understanding the training that goes into that, the change management that goes into that, understanding any more resources we may have. We had some IT glitches that were not a fault of White Plume, but they still jumped in with us as we went through writing different interface codes. And then most importantly, the in-game product and analytics. If you have all those pieces, like anything else, the results, the byproducts will be there. So they're great to have all your rev cycle metrics and everything else, but a full 360 vendor is what they are as a good partner.
Sound like Nick Saban talking about the process.
Did I?
Yeah.
The process. I could be Belichick right now and not say a word. What? Matt's shoes suck.
Yeah. Right. No, I'm not gonna talk about that. I
The,
don't pay attention to analytics.
you used, well, that clean daily real-time balance. You didn't put that on.
You're right. So let's break this down and simplify it. Charges have to get entered, and they have to be reconciled. So part of that is on the practice side to make sure if something was a cancel or no-show, it's cleared out, but it's done literally within 24 hours. We have the technology for it, we have a workflow for it, but we also have a way to reconcile and check on as well, thankfully to our interfaces and things we've written with the White Plume team. All the fancy widgets we talk about mean nothing if we can't get the charges going through the door and have them properly coded, but also have the rules built in to make us more efficient by the payers.
Okay, that's pretty good. Anything else?
Yes, sir.
All right, good, thank you. One thing, your best Notre Dame experience at Notre Dame game?
Well, I'm going to go with 2016. We restarted the Catholic versus convict rivalry, even though Miami's not quite where they should be, but we killed them 3 years ago, so that was nice.
I was at the Brady Quinn Samardzija last second when, less than a minute going down the field. It was an incredible game.
Where was that?
It was in South Bend, and
Was it?
It was the most incredible game that I had.
Well, I was at the Snow Bowl,
it was-
so I was
really?
there against Penn State, so that was my favorite game. Seeing Jerome Bettis and Rick Meyer and all those guys
man.
gives me goosebumps. Yeah.
All right. All right, well,
we
thank
good?
you.
Pleasure.
Awesome.
Go Irish.
All right. Yeah.
John.